reveal themselves. So it looks like the NBA will go to a 72 game regular season schedule this year. There won't be an All Star week. It doesn't appear like there's going to be an All Star weekend in Indianapolis. It looks as though the NBA and the NBA Players Association are negotiating a 2 week break at the season midway point. So that'll be interesting where guys, they won't get all the 14 days off, obviously. They'll probably, get maybe 3 to 4 days right there at the beginning off, and then they come back and ease their way back in. But it'll be interesting because the NBA season is such a grind that a 2 week break right in the middle without an all-star break, man, you're really giving guys a chance for their bodies to recover. David Hepler, Joseph Sapp, Bruce Ruberg, and Jimmy Red, thanks for jumping on. Good to see you guys. So that's interesting, that 2 week break in the middle. I'm kind of curious to find out more as they reveal these specifics of the season. It'll be interesting to see what was their thought process behind taking away the All-Star weekend and giving a 2 week break in the middle of the season. I think it's a good idea. I would like, I feel bad for the city of Indianapolis and those people who were banking on that weekend coming. That's not positive, but everything else, if you're an NBA player and you're playing a 72 game schedule and then you've had a truncated offseason based on COVID-19 and the restart and all that in the NBA playoffs going into October, a 2 week break right in the middle of the season, boy, I tell you what, they won't ever do away with the All-Star game, but there may be a variation of things that happen this upcoming season that you'll see moving forward with the NBA based on the success of that idea, the feedback they get from players, the feedback they get from fans. So that'll really be interesting. Another point, the NBA is going to do a play-in tournament for both the Western Conference and the Eastern Conferences. I'm not sure if it's going to be a seeding game situation like we saw in the bubble, or will it be they take a certain number, the top, 12 out of the Eastern Conference and the top 12 out of the Western Conference, and then throw them into a tournament to figure out either play-in seeding or something like that. I don't know the specifics of that, but I think the seeding games for the NBA restart in the bubble in Orlando were a success. And I think that they like having a tournament within the regular season to add excitement, to push fans to something a little bit more specific. So that'll be interesting. And then the NBA is going to try to finish their season before the Tokyo Olympics. So the Tokyo Olympics got postponed a year. The NBA wants to try to get their season in before the Olympics. I'm assuming they want NBA players to be available for that competition. But that's kind of interesting that window was probably pushed the NBA a little bit earlier. We were hearing they were wanting to start in January or maybe even February, but now it appears as though there's going to be a pre-Christmas start. So that week before Christmas looks like that's when the NBA regular season will start. And I think that was predicated on them planning out everything and getting the season in by the time the Summer Olympics take place. So it'll be interesting in how the NBA navigates this COVID-19 situation because, the commissioner, I want to call him David Stern. I get my Adam Silver. The commissioner acknowledged that 40% of the revenue for the NBA comes from fan attendance. So the NBA did something, I read a blurb where they were able to save or to secure $1.5 billion for completing the NBA season. There must be incentives or something to hit or marketing milestones to hit, but they hit some sort of milestone and were able to collect on 1.5 billion. So the NBA is really savvy in terms of working around the COVID situation, empty stadiums. They don't want to go back to a bubble situation. And so I imagine that for the a good 75% of the NBA slate will be with no fans. Maybe as we come into next spring and the numbers aren't exploding kind of like they are right now, they may be able to open things up a little bit, and maybe their plan is maybe the back quarter, maybe the last 20 to 25% of the games can have attendance. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do this. Telly Hughes, Edward Millen, Pat Longo, Mark Wade, what's good, Mark? William Rader, what's up, Bill? Good to see you on there, man. Hope you and your family are doing well. Hardick, Dave, Joseph Sapp, I think read you guys already. Edward Millen. This could be a plus for up-and-coming teams that weren't in the bubble, said Jimmy Red. I agree. It's interesting. These proposals and changes are really fascinating. And the date I'm really looking forward to is this Friday, because the NBA and the NBA Players Association, they set October 30th as a deadline to make the necessary provisions to the collective bargaining agreement so that they can implement these changes. They can do something to the salary cap. They can try to ensure that the owners don't take a bath, that the players may have to cut some of their salary, but don't take a bath. So it's interesting, but Friday is going to be a key date. So stay tuned to that. And then also November 18th is the NBA draft. And so you'll start to see after Friday, I'll be very surprised the NBA and the Players Association don't come together on all these provisions, because to me, on the surface, obviously I'm not in the rooms negotiating, but it appears fair. I'm sure the Players Association loves that 2-week break in the middle of the season after a 4-month break from COVID, then the restart, then the seeding games and the playoffs. They get to the finals. The playoffs go into October. You restart in December, which is, roughly 2.5, 3 months later. So then you have a 2-week break to give guys' bodies a break. I'm telling you, I think they're going to love it. I think coaches will love it. You get to reset. The NBA All-Star Weekend is really something, because I think the NBA stops playing the Tuesday of that week, either Monday or Tuesday of All-Star Weekend. And so some players, you get 4 or 5 days where, you can kind of run off to an island for a while and get some sun, or you can do your routine, whatever you do during All-Star break or whatever, what have you. But I think this 2-week break is going to be fantastic. So this Friday, October 25th, we'll probably hear a bunch of announcements, and then free agency will come very fast. Fred VanVleet appears to be the coveted free agent in this year's group of players that are available. So free agency will kick in quickly. The draft will happen very quickly, November 18th. And then maybe a month later, the season will start. And so right after the draft, you'll start to see teams probably open up training camps soon, so they can get their allotted time in for the training camps. I'm sure they won't have as many preseason games this year as they have in the past. So it's going to be interesting to see the changes that will take place in the NBA, but they will happen fast. So stay tuned Friday for an announcement from the NBA, and then after that, you're going to start to see the dominoes fall in place, and you'll get NBA free agency. The draft will take place, then training camps will open, then the league will start, and then you're off and running. So you don't have much time to wait. So tune in to Bartle's Breakdown. I'll be doing draft capsules from the top 14 players who I think are the top 14 players and where they would be slotted in those lottery positions. So I'll do draft capsules on that. We're going to have an NBA draft party so we can watch the draft together on Bartle's Breakdown, so you guys can comment while you're seeing the picks, whether you like them, whether you don't, because there'll be some trades. There'll be, draft night is always fun. A lot of activity. We'll do that on Bartle's Breakdown as well. So make sure you stay tuned. If you aren't following Bartle's Breakdown, go follow it and hit the notification for when we come up, because sometimes I go live on any time and you don't want to miss those notifications. So check that out. And if you like this gear right here, go to StephenBardo.com, StephenBardo.com. There's an orange button in the top. Hit the shop button. It'll take you to the site, the Shopify site that I have with all the Flying Illini gear. So if you want the Flying Illini book, if you want the ebook, you want the audio book, you want Flying Illini gear, it's all there. So go to StephenBardo.com. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys are having a great week. Take care. Be on the lookout for more of these because they'll be coming at you at any time.